Ty, you a shooter?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Ty
I'm a straight shooter.
Right down the pipe.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. You come buckets.
Welcome back. I ran out of breath.
You just pass out. You just go face first.
Is that? It's getting that real.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast. I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Jonny DeVito.
And I'm Ty Bossino.
Goddamn right.
And well, we got you here.
Give them the business.
I'm about to. Click that.
Oh man, we are off to the start. We'll do the thing, and then I think we might have to address something first. But
click that subscribe button, hit the like, leave a comment, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Leave a 5-star review if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hit myself in the mouth with the microphone. And share us on your stories. Tag us so we know, and tell your friends and family all about us.
yeah, I agree. You know what I want to talk about?
What?
I got some weed recently from an unnamed source,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's too strong. I was having a conversation with Ty yesterday that this weed is too strong for me to smoke in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I like to do bong chops in the morning, as is customary.
Right.
But I did that yesterday and went to work, and I was having a conversation with Ty and being like, I'm at a safety meeting right now. Like, none of this means anything.
And I was like, that's great, because that's what we used to call going out to smoke weed at work. Let's say having going to have a safety meeting. Like, oh, yeah.
And the kitchen thing was huge, right? Nobody moves, nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
That's very important. But I'm at a legitimate safety meeting. There's rain coming and like wind and shit like that. There's potential for serious hazards. Mm-hmm. And I was laughing about that because my job is really easy nowadays. All the pipes are plastic, you know what I mean, right? I'm not really doing a whole lot, but it's important to still stay vigilant. Right. And then so we had that conversation yesterday, and here we are together. Yeah. Today. Yeah. Not abiding by any of that.
Well, last night we had like a couple drinks at Brown's, and then came home, and I had one gin smash and one glass of red wine and took like a few bong tokes, and I was fucking falling asleep on the couch at 9 p.m.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's like,
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We were having a heated discussion about whether or not we wanted to watch SLC Punk.
Whether or not you wanted to watch SLC Punk.
I was whether or not you were. That's like a Johnny pitch. More than a.
Yeah.
Maybe not whether or not I was gonna watch it, whether or not you were gonna stay downstairs to enjoy it with me. Shout out to Matthew Lillard. Fantastic film, Matthew. I'm feeling a little woozy here. Willard, obviously from Scream fame, and the lovable Shaggy from the Scooby-Doo franchise. Yeah. But this is a movie that's very. I don't know. It just sparked a little young passion in me last night, and I drank way too much whiskey while I watched it alone. And here we are. And here we are today. And here we are now. And I'm feeling very happy to be here. I wanted to give positive affirmations and say that I love you guys and all the listeners.
Those tapes are paying off.
Yeah, man. I feel like it's good to bring that kind of energy out in the world because I've been dealing with a little bit of negativity this week, but it's like it's internal, right? And the further that you isolate, then the shittier things get. And we got a very big week of fun stuff coming up.
We do have a huge week coming up.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be crazy. It's great. Yeah. I guess we'll plug stuff now that we're on the topic, and then we'll get into it.
If you're in the Vancouver area, my goodness.
Yeah, we got Monday. Oh, this is gonna come out weeks from now. None of this.
Then never mind. How stoned are the three of us right now? We're media moguls. You guys understand that? You know what I mean? Like, we push the fucking news forward.
Disregard all of that.
Yeah. If you're hearing this, then we made it through.
We got a
lovely.
couple episodes banked, and then
Yep.
we're gonna have a couple more after this. So
Okay.
I have no idea when this.
All right.
episode's
So
coming.
shout out to late
It won't
November.
be Monday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Season's greetings.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy December.
Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho.
2023 is wild.
Yeah.
Oh my
Though we do
goodness.
have to start keeping track because we just put out episode 84, 83 or 84. So we have to keep track
We're
of what
approaching-
ones we're recording because we need to know which one is 100 and we have to plan something.
What
for
should?
that.
What do you guys think? Like, I mean, it's been.
Relapse?
I was gonna say meet my dad, but no,
let's be realistic.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much easier to get you back on drugs.
yeah.
And it's gonna be to get Andy down.
Well, yeah, but I never take the easy route.
I know.
Yeah.
From what we've heard about him, it might be easier to get Andy down here if you were, if you had somebody.
If
to
I
party
was
with.
on, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
But,
I see that tactic. Okay,
Yeah.
well, maybe we can do both.
But,
Get too
We
first
can't.
stoned.
We can't.
if anyone listening or watching has any ideas or requests for
Yeah.
episode 100, let us know in some way. Probably just like text us. You probably all know us personally.
Yeah.
Whoever's listening.
Yeah. Basically, if anybody has a venue that'll let us do it live, I think that's really
That's the thing.
That
Yeah,
would be
maybe
sick.
on location.
That would be sick.
Maybe
Hell yeah.
something with a Fomite show or
Oh.
something. Ooh, maybe something with a band that we like. Maybe something with
Yeah.
a corpse or something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, there's ideas floating around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now the pot is cooking, right?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. If we're gonna plan such a joyous event, then I'm thinking I'm gonna need to look the part. I'm gonna need to look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Looking good is feeling good, right? And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not a big jewelry guy,
Yeah.
but I hear that there might be a new product on the market.
Yeah.
that,
I got some bling that you might be interested
So that
Okay.
drip as it
Some
were.
drip.
Tell me about the trip.
So and
Why did mine make everyone puke? Yeah.
This is just too
All
perfect.
right. All right.
an Ontario TikToker is making jewelry from semen and breast milk,
Let's go.
along with other bodily
The other
things.
fluids?
Yeah,
Oh.
not necessarily. We'll get into it.
Cool.
Okay. A TikToker is going viral after selling jewelry made from human material, meaning ashes, breast milk, and even semen. Amanda Booth, a 33-year-old from Brantford, Ontario, is the founder of Trinkets by Amanda.
But they're not by a man.
Yeah, yeah, right?
They're by a man.
Duh.
At first, her jewelry making business revolved around creating earrings using clay. However, after a few client requests, that model quickly turned into something completely different, which she now calls her Jizzy Jewelry line.
That's
So my
now we're
first
talking
question is like, did these requests just pop up out of nowhere? Like, what was she putting out there that suggested she might be open
And how
to
come
this?
we're not getting these requests?
Yeah, why aren't we getting any of the
Yeah,
requests?
let's get to it.
Yeah.
The way you said Jack, I'm like, I get where you're going here. Why are we getting requests?
Yeah.
Zero cum related. Anything. I've never
Yeah.
received a request
Nothing.
for
Not on a cracker.
not a nothing. Not on anybody's face. Why did I think you're what the people want from you is a reflection of the energy that you put in the world, right?
Exactly.
So what kind of energy is she putting out there that
Exactly.
somebody's like, hey, I got like
This girl, that multiple people were like, I think this girl might be open to this.
Yeah.
You know, we got to review some of the TikToks.
somebody's got like an old film canister just like with a collection going? Like
Yeah.
how much cum does it take to
So I don't believe
we have a
it
lot of
start-
questions. Like,
Yeah,
okay. All right.
So
we're
the
we're gonna get
first-
to the bottom of this.
The first semen jewelry Amanda made was from her husband's materials.
Nice.
She posted the video on TikTok, which got over 6.1 million views. A whole bunch of ads.
I mean,
yeah.
that is not okay. So it's not. It's definitely not ordinary, right? So
Right.
6.1 million views is definitely going to come down as soon as somebody is, using anything that let's
with
say
I mean,
wild.
it's the same with the there's
Semen's popular.
I don't know if it's just
Semen will
one.
get these numbers up.
Yeah,
Semen
Semen will get those
Semen will
numbers up.
up.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know.
I bet there's cum shot videos with with way more views that we've amassed.
So I don't know if it's
combined.
just like one specific kind of beauty skincare guru or if it's become a trend now, but there was one specific who was using her boyfriend's semen.
Exfoliate.
Yeah, there was one. Yeah,
Tiny sperm. Open up
I
your
can't
pores.
remember.
Like there's a
There was
difference
one
They
between
girl-
eat
like,
away at the
exfoliating
dead
with-
skin.
Well, no, there was one girl who was advocating that drinking the cum was good for your skin.
Every 10 years, there's a
Yeah.
different cum thing.
Right?
Right? It's
Yeah.
the pineapple. When
For
we were
sure.
growing up,
Yep.
it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
pineapple. You got to eat a lot of
gotta eat
pineapple.
a
Sex in the City, I
Yeah,
think was,
right.
That's where I heard that shit.
Yeah, the spunk. Yeah, I
There's
remember
always
that.
every 10
Man,
years.
I would
It's like when
watch.
eggs are good for you and then they're bad for you again,
Right.
you know, and that
Yeah.
switches.
Yeah, I mean everything
Same
in
thing.
moderation.
They
Now-
switch
now
with
they're-
cum.
Now
Yeah.
they're trying to do eggs in the afternoon. Like they're trying to push like,
Right.
eggs are weird. You're weird for thinking.
They're
it's
like,
weird.
yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
have this eggs in the afternoon and put this
Yeah.
cum necklace around.
Yeah.
We've entered this this great part. I was even telling you too. I got a box of Frosted Flakes. I went to the store.
Bet you
stoned.
did.
Shit. No,
Yeah.
I haven't just had like regular milk in a while, so it just turned me into like a rocket ship for like a day and a half.
Oh, yeah.
I've just been blasting.
All
them through
yesterday,
space.
he's like, "Fuck my stomach is really hurting me," and I was like, "Could it have anything to do with the bowl of milk that you drank yesterday after not consuming milk for God knows how long?"
Yeah.
Like-
I get like that shit if I eat too much. It's a shame. It's like if I order a pizza and it's like now because like I eat cheese and shit like that, but like I don't really.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
like if you get past that halfway mark,
Oh, yeah.
you're like this will not be good later. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up in
That's why
giant
the-
pain and I'm
the-
gonna shit myself. Like,
That's
it's
why
not
the
gonna be
vegan pizza is where it's at because you don't get any. You still feel like a piece of shit when
Right.
you
Yeah.
you
Okay,
finish.
because I
when
want a
you
little
crush
bit of
a whole-
that.
Yeah,
I do. That's why I do get pizza. By
Yeah,
myself.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like vegan cheese has come a long way too.
Definitely has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like
There's some gooiness
yeah,
to it. There's a stretch
I've
and a pull, like
I've
it's-
brought up the Pizza Castle on here before, but my God, their vegan pizza that they're churning out there is
big time shout out to-
unparalleled.
Absolutely.
But anyways, back to Jizzy Jewelry.
Yeah, I don't know how we got. I didn't know how to get back.
Yeah.
Went down a road and got lost.
Yeah, I like cum on my pizza. No, what? No.
Yeah. So, how did it all start? Booth said this all started in March 2021 when jewelry making was a form of therapy that saved her life. Ugh. She calls this process a happy accident.
Here we go.
Using human materials started when her friend asked Booth to put her son's ashes into a jewelry set after she lost him in a car accident.
Heavy.
Oof. And Amanda never says no. From that point on, the client requests grew and widely differed. Eventually, someone asked her to incorporate breast milk, and when she posted a video of it last November, it blew up. At that point, her 10 to 20 orders per week turned into 100, and it became her full-time job. Even her husband quit his then employment to help support Amanda and her business. Wow.
He's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
He's like,
I
I'm
get
going to
to
have
sit.
to quit my job. There's a lot of demand.
I just get to sit at home and jerk off all day.
Could you imagine?
I'm supporting my
Babe,
wife.
I'll do
and
anything I gotta do. Yeah, absolutely. Of course it's for you.
If
I guess I have no choice but to quit and just
if I'm
jerk
going
off
into
all
work
day.
on Monday morning, I have the biggest smile on my face, and the guys aren't going to believe it. It's like I'm getting paid to bust these nuts, and not only that, women are sending titty milk from all over the country
Yeah.
to my home.
I mean, the
Guys,
So you have a
child-
weird
yeah.
thirst for milk now?
No,
You have
because
a-
she's making
Yeah, right?
this is paying the rent. This is insane.
Yeah, I mean, the
Guys,
child's
go.
ashes are a bit of a bummer, but
I just like where's that transition? Where is
right?
like the
It's so it is a weird place to be like, oh well, I'm using these ashes in jewelry. What other human materials could I put in jewelry? You
Yeah.
know, like it
You
is a
can go-
weird
you
kind
can
of.
find spooky subsections of people. Like I think like counterculture exists, and it's your a duty as a free market capitalist
Duty.
to market directly to them. So you can go like metal.
That's ultimately where we're gonna go with this
Right?
stuff. Are,
Yeah, yeah.
Are there any poop
I was
earrings?
gonna say
Any
blood.
shit
Yeah, for
necklace?
sure.
Oh, blood earrings for sure.
Yeah.
They're
There
making
is-
blood Nikes and shit.
Yeah,
They
there-
made those for what's his face?
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
They took them off the market, but
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
actual
yeah.
human blood in them or
Little
whatever.
Nas, yeah.
There's one of the littles.
One of the littles. Yeah. As many people have not
As a
been
little person?
accepting of her business model, some has gone as far as to call her a Satanist, she said. Nevertheless, those in favor of her craft has sent requests involving umbilical cords,
Yeah, dude.
placenta, hair, and fur. But it got fascinating when someone asked for semen jewelry. I think it's already fascinating at that point.
Yeah.
You're making
Anything
necklaces
goes.
out of umbilical cords.
Where do
like,
you
oh
draw the
my
fucking line? You don't, right? Like if there's a
How do you make a
demand-
necklace out of a umbilical? I guess you get a scrunchie.
Yeah.
Freddie got fingers.
I can see a
Duct taped
scrunchie,
it.
but that's about it.
I am interested
Yeah.
in the
A hair elastic.
process. Like, how does she turn all of these like various like forms of substances? Some are liquid, some are like solids. How does she turn them into materials that can
Resin?
be used
Rosin?
in,
Well,
in
in
a
the video
necklace?
that's in this that's attached to this article, she has basically what it appears to be is like just like powdered like cum,
yeah,
like you
that's
dry
what
it
it.
out.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
what I
Like,
saw. Yeah.
Was that a Bill Hicks joke where it's like the fucking there's like women are always
Just
bragging
picturing
that
a
they
guy
have the,
coming like a fucking like a baby bottle, like a fucking baby powder bottle. Some old dude.
there's the well like
It's
everybody
like
knows.
Hugh Hefner used to come right before he died.
Oh well, yeah, but if you're if you're a gross piece of shit, then you know that you know what I mean. If you miss on the wipe up or whatever, right? Then you will get that like the dry, crusty.
Crusty, but not powdery.
No, but I'm saying that like I bet like if you know left dry and you know what I mean
If you
manipulated in a
scraped
certain
enough.
way, yeah, for sure, right? It's like what
okay.
is that fucking joke? Women have the you know the ability to have one baby and they're so proud of it or whatever. It's like one baby. Civilizations lay dry and crusted around my navel. I love that line. I think it's Bill Hicks or something. But.
At first, I was like super offended because I was doing like a really beautiful breast milk piece in that video. She said, but it became kind of the joke of the office, meaning her house, her and her husband. And one day I just happened to post that joke on Facebook and ended up getting serious requests for it. Just like everything else in my business, I just decided that I wasn't going to say no. And I guess the rest is kind of history.
How much cum do
Okay,
you have
here
to
we go.
send in? And like what kind of, you know, Julie, are you going to get back from it? Ty, you a shooter?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ty
I'm a
comes
straight shooter.
right down the pipe.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. You come buckets, that's sick. I'm not a huge shooter like that.
Do you remember when
right?
Tom Green had like he saved like a whole bunch of cum? He like saved like, it was like an insane amount of cum. And then he like rubbed it all over Glenn Humplick's face. I don't even know if it actually was. It was like really weird and like kind of like it was
I
so
remember a
weird.
moment on the early Tom Green show where Glenn freaks out and like quits. Is that because?
Oh,
of
it was
that?
every night, dude.
Yeah,
That-
I know, exactly.
because
yeah.
he was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna like chainsaw
Yeah,
a fucking raccoon in half," and you're like, "What the fuck is happening in this show?"
This
Uh,
is the
yeah.
Tom Green show.
So how does this process work? Here
Yeah.
we go. There are different ways to request jewelry from Booth's business. Customers can either visit her website and pick from a few designs or arrange a
Show
consult
up in person and get milked.
and discuss the other ideas they might have in mind. And contrary to what you might think, the process does not include any machinery. I never thought machinery was involved.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, she created a special concoction she calls a trade secret, which they use to mix with the liquid
More
materials.
cum.
Yeah, right. To let it,
I have new teeth.
yeah, to let
She's
it
a
dry
fucking witch.
before grinding it into a powder. The materials is then added to a translucent
Just
clay.
more old pestle fucking.
Right?
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Oh my God. They have like multiple in the house.
Yeah.
She walks into the kitchen. Her husband's like grinding some spices. She's like, "Oh God, no, not that one."
It was coming at it. Like, it's my cup. I don't care.
Right.
It tastes like pineapple. Okay. Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's just got a bunch of different fucking name titles.
The materials then added to a translucent clay and used to sculpt the pieces. Typically, she doesn't need much material to work with for a piece of jewelry. Good news.
Nice.
As in no more than 10 to 20 milliliters of breast milk or just under 2 teaspoons of semen. The most popular piece, the Jizzy Jewelry, comes in the form of a pearl and starts at $110. But prices vary depending on her clientele's desires. That's a fucking expensive piece of jewelry. For a fucking
$110?
yeah.
I think that's reasonably priced.
What?
$110 for me to so
for a custom piece of jewelry, just one pearl.
Yeah,
I like how it's an actual pearl necklace. That's
right.
hilarious.
I think I
Yeah.
believe
I like how
it's
they're
the-
leading into
would you
it.
wear
It's
earrings if I sent off
Your
for 200?
cum?
Yeah, for one for each, right? So that'd be like 200 for like $250 shipping and handling.
Right.
I get
I think it would be more than that because this starts at 110.
okay, but well, let's kind of
Okay.
try to stick around that price point. But
I'll try. my
yeah, would that be something that you might be into?
best.
For if it's your birthday and I get you earrings of my cum, is
I
that weird?
don't- Yes.
Okay. But if it's like a Wednesday and I'm just trying to surprise
Sure.
you and be, spontaneous,
Sure.
right? I was
Yeah.
thinking about that, right? Because I
Okay.
want to be spontaneous, but I don't want to be
Right.
unpredictable.
I want to be a wild card.
Yeah, exactly. I'll buy you a new toaster oven, but I'm not going to give it to you in the bath.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
gotcha,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Be
Yeah.
spontaneous.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If you want to give me a spontaneous gift of your cum in earrings.
Yes.
Okay.
But, okay, so what you're saying is you don't want just a spontaneous gift of love, just come, though.
No, I said that it's fine
Okay.
if it's spontaneous, but if it's for my birthday,
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
Good
then
call.
I'm gonna
Okay.
say no.
You want
Yeah.
do you want John Frusciante? Open. That would be crazy if people could start requesting, you know what I mean? Like if they're like a cameo kind of situation,
Yeah.
right? So like for $50 you can get, you know what I mean? Like
I mean, it does exist to a certain extent for others. Maybe not to
Right?
make jewelry with, but you
know what I mean,
You
right?
people never
Who's-
request all sorts
Yeah.
of shit.
who do you think is an open enough celebrity, and how much money do you think it would cost to get cum or breast milk?
I think for $50,000 you get Dennis Rodman's cum.
I mean, that makes for $50,000. I feel like you get a lot of people's cum.
Oh, yeah.
Really? I don't know
I
that.
think-
I don't know if you could like.
I'm thinking like celebrity on the down,
I
like on the
think so.
down
Are we,
slide.
are we saying he's on
Yeah.
the down? He's
Like,
on the up,
see-
grabbing
Oh,
rebounds,
dude,
bro.
of
Yeah.
course, one of the greatest defensive players of all time. Absolutely.
Let's make sure we're not shit talking Dennis Rodman.
He saved the fucking world, man. He went to North
Right,
Korea
yeah, right,
and
yeah.
single-handedly saved the world.
Yeah. That's so dumb.
I think it's fucking ridiculous, but I think but you'd have to be like a Rodman, you know what I mean, S character, right? But in a
Yeah.
world of OnlyFans
That's what I-
and
that's what I
things like
mean,
that
yeah.
now, like you
Yeah.
could probably, you know what I mean, like your favorite porn star or something like that. Like Rocco Siffredi doesn't really like perform anymore, but like he was a fucking legend who just shoots massive loads, right? So if you could call him up and be like, hey, just like a huge fan of your work,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I was wondering if
Yeah,
you know,
okay, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, like
It'd
it'd be nice to have an app that showed us everyone who was on board with
you know who would be on board?
it, like a cameo or a cameo. Is. Yeah, I
a
guess.
do we
cameo.
know anybody, do we know
Yeah.
anybody in tech? Like, do we know anybody
in the tech industry?
yeah.
My
Would your brother
I was gonna say
give
my
up
brother
his job
builds
of
apps.
like curing cancer with the internet?
he might be open to it. Yeah.
Kelly, we're looking at you. You're the only one who can help us.
But you know who might be open to giving their cum for $50,000 is
Me.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like the D-list celebrity types. I was just listening to a podcast on Two Bears they called Steve-O, and this was shortly after they filmed the Shark Week Jackass where Poopy's got his hand fucking ripped to
yeah.
shreds.
Like crazy traumatic.
Yeah.
God, that's
And
so gnarly.
Steve-O was saying, he was like, it's so fucking sad because obviously this is like ongoing fucking like physical therapy he needs, and Poopy's is fucking broke. Like can't afford to pay it anymore because for the Jackass movies, they don't get a kickback once it starts, airing. All the new guys, like they just get paid up front. They get paid like union fees.
Right.
Union salary,
Oh,
and then he doesn't get any like kickback from it. So he's like, yeah, Poopy's is fucking broke. So he's on Cameo. If anyone wants to order something, order a Cameo from Poopy's. So I think if we can get together $50,000,
I think we had.
Does it have to be 50?
you're the one that fucking put that number out there.
I did not.
I
tied
threw it out.
through 50
Yeah.
and-
But I'm like, I'm a gypsy, so I'm like, well, we can go lower. We can always get it lower.
100%.
We can go lower.
I hate to.
I was
be-
just saying, like, I don't think Poop. I mean, I'm putting Dennis Rodman at $50,000.
Totally.
Okay.
All respect to Poopy and his hand being bit off by a fucking shark. Not worth $50,000 in my book.
I think like $500.
What would Jeff from Survivor give his semen for 50 grand.
Oh man.
You wear those earrings.
Oh.
Jackie,
Wait, dangly earrings.
Can you leave him like half wet for me? That is fucking awesome. Would you go pearl or would you go with like I think like a ghost shape would be funny because it is kind of sploogey droopy. Like that is.
Well, we're
if you
making
just had like one big like
sophisticated.
drop like pendant.
Okay, we're making classy jewelry here, guys.
Yeah.
We want something I can wear every day.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Fair
Yeah,
enough. Fair
yeah.
enough.
All right.
I think if I'm gonna go for it, then I think you're right. With the pendant is like a ridiculous kind of like hip hop emblem.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, it'd be sick
Like
if
the
you
splash
had.
emoji.
Yeah, the splash emoji, or if you had one of the like World Industries like
Yeah.
flame
Yeah.
or like drip dude, like yeah,
Wicked
Yeah.
call.
yeah.
Some of you may ask, why would anyone want this? Well, the reasons vary from case to case.
We would not ask. We're like, how can we get it?
Yeah.
That's the only question we've asked.
Yeah.
We celebrate things.
Yeah.
Here. We're not
Yeah.
here to shit on anything.
Yeah.
The artist said, I like how we know her name, but sometimes the article just refers to her as the artist.
Yeah.
The artist said that some couples want to find a way to represent the passion and intimacy of their relationship, while others are part of kink communities.
I think if you're not sharing the passion with me here, then I might fall into the second category here.
I like how they just throw that last one out. It's like, and the other are just disgusting people.
And others
fucking
are
gross.
fucking heathens. Yeah.
The others should die of their sins. Go straight to hell.
They need to look nice
Yeah.
in hell too.
We even get people who want something to represent their fertility journey for those couples that have struggled with fertility. The business owner added. I like all the fucking
Oh, yeah.
all the
She's
synonyms they're using.
Yeah.
For her. Final thoughts. Amanda was never a jewelry maker. She worked in retail before finding this passion. Despite all the haters on the internet, the creator shared that she is a mother of 3 and prides herself in showing them that she's doing something she loves. Putting a lot of time, passion, and energy, a lot of passion, into something that makes
So much passion.
yeah, that makes
Fuck,
other people.
if she makes like her son's first nut and stuff like that, like because I mean at some point she might be like,
Oh
He
my
definitely
god, like
is.
shoes?
yeah, dude,
He definitely-
like bronze
man,
in
that's
your
so great. Yeah, you know they bronze your shoes.
yeah, my
Yeah.
brother had him from his communion.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's put like a lock of her children's hair into jewelry and shit like that. Putting a lot of time, passion, and energy into something that makes, other people feel good is something she is proud of sharing with her children, regardless of the materials she works with. I am an open-minded artist who really prides herself in being that comfortable, judgment-free space where people can come with all sorts of requests
Okay, lady,
or
you
wable requests and feel heard, she concluded. Like, okay.
You
You
can
didn't have
just
to get
do
so
anything that you
fucking
want.
gay about it.
You can do anything that you want under the guise of like acceptance and like this is like a safe space for everybody to be here, right? But like that's still like, you know what I mean, objectively like is weird. I don't think like of course
Yeah,
there's
like,
gonna be
yeah.
like, you know,
Always gotta be a fucking. This is why
Yeah.
it's so important
Well,
that I'm
it's-
making these jizz
Exactly.
earrings. It's
Yeah.
like
It's
It's
making
beautiful.
just you're making cum earrings and it's
beautiful,
fun.
yeah.
It's a very fun
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
in.
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
in.
And there's
lady.
always
That's all
got to
you
be
need to know.
like making you feel shitty for even questioning why she would do this.
That's it is. It's an
Yeah,
attack
yeah.
on
It's
anything.
like
Yeah.
it's not even weird. It's weird that you would think it's weird. You
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
piece
no,
of
it's
shit.
it's in
not.
the afternoon.
It's
Fuck
like,
it.
okay,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna raise,
yeah,
yeah.
fuck you.
It's gonna raise some fucking questions when you say that you're making fucking, real life pearl necklaces, you know, and you're using like children's ashes and like umbilical cords. Like obviously, people are gonna have some questions. Yeah, and it's not
100%.
necessarily out of judgment, like sheer curiosity.
And it's fucking metal is what it is.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty fucking cool that not only is she doing it, but she's supporting her entire family off of this thing, right?
Yeah,
And
that's wild.
You know what I mean? There's clearly a market for it, right? And I think, you know what I mean? I like in a sense of just like entrepreneurial genius.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If she like found like a way to do this, because if those like it basically just looks like she's pressing it into like balls of clay and like heating the clay up. So technically, they're just clay jewelry, right?
Yeah,
with powders,
semen like
piece of
laced through it, you know.
Yeah, right?
Lashings of cum.
With a few
Sprinkles of
couple
I
rows.
want to
sprinkles
yeah.
of semen. all
I
over.
want to see the next level of this because, like, either she's gonna develop like a new technique to be like, like the second generation of this stuff, like now with 80% more cum,
Right.
or her competitor is gonna come in and be like,
It's gonna be like gold, like
this is
18
gonna be-
karat cum.
this is gonna be
Yeah,
huge, dude,
yeah.
right?
Is that 24 karat cum?
100%,
bro?
Yeah.
right? Because the only thing that like really drives like innovation these days, you know what I mean, right, is war and profits, right? So
Yeah, dude.
what you,
Fuck
and
yeah,
then
bro.
whether that be on the battlefield or
Yeah.
in the Ontario cum jewelry market, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're here to see this, you know what I mean, to like take off to the next level.
Of course.
So I definitely want to get on the ground floor. I'm gonna need, like a copy of like all this stuff, and then start requesting like really weird stuff.
So I wonder what
Would you wear pube jewelry
would you wear pube jewelry?
of yours? Fuck yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Well, yeah, but your pubes are wicked.
Puberty. That's hard.
But I wonder what the logistics or legality are of sending things like umbilical cords and ashes in the mail to people.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if
is that
that's-
one
I
of
mean,
those things
I'm
you
pretty,
ask
like-
forgiveness, not
Yeah.
permission, you know?
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's like FedEx takes anything. If it's in a
Exactly,
box,
yeah.
like they don't really
Totally.
fucking know.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh man, like fucking.
Someone's gonna be like taking an envelope
yeah.
and be like something about this. I bet is there cum in this?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking Sean was saying that when he was working for Canada Post, he was like, oh yeah, like the fucking packages that are labeled fragile, people will literally, because you have to fit everything into your truck, you're fucking kicking packages back. He's like, people toss the ones that say fragile, like
yeah,
they
it's
don't
a
give
marker.
a fuck.
I had a friend who worked at the baggage place at the airport, and he was
Yeah.
just like, "Oh yeah, it's just like a Target."
Yeah. Yeah.
You're the biggest piece of
Yeah,
shit.
he's like, I've
Son of a
delivered
bitch.
fucking packages that literally are like busted open from me kicking into
Just
my
Ace
van.
Ventura, like the beginning.
Yeah,
Just, like,
yeah,
down and play soccer with it.
exactly, yeah.
Oh man. Well, that's a good way to fucking like just pop a.
But imagine being the mail delivery guy and you doing that, and all of a sudden a fucking umbilical cord pops out.
Right? Yeah.
At
Or a
that
big
point, would it be
fucking
dry?
cloud of dust. Come. Yeah.
Oh, that's cum.
That's cum dust. That's cum.
It's like a glitter bomb. It's so sticky.
He's trying to get workers comp. He's trying
Yeah.
Because he has cum dust all over him.
He's trying to get workers comp like he's
it's
Two-Faced.
It's in his
Yeah.
eyes and shit. Yeah. Rachel.
That's what you get when you fuck with me. You get cum on your face.
But
man.
yeah, I mean, shout out to Amanda in Ontario.
Huge show.
Hey, if you want to link up and do some sort of partnership,
100%. We
Yeah.
should definitely
Looking for
reach out.
sponsors.
Yeah, definitely.
looking
Show
for
me your cum jewelry.
sponsors.
100%.
Oh yeah.
there you go.
That would be
Hey, that's
awesome.
pretty cool.
Oh, could we like send her like just like a mixed vial? We'll we'll all get like some. I don't know what you're gonna put in
Hey, well, Jackie's definitely not into it. You're like, Johnny, he was honestly about to go, I'll mix it.
Just smush it around in my
Which
mouth.
did
like-
like you're making fucking
Spit it back.
Yeah, dude. Like you're making chocolate milk in your mouth.
Yeah.
Syrup
It's better
and
when you
milk.
make it in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's more fun. man.
Okay. Just something,
Yeah.
something to think about, Amanda.
Yeah, definitely. Transition. How are we
Not
gonna
to be confused with Ty's girlfriend, Amanda. I don't know if
Oh,
she'd
no,
be
my
as
God.
into that.
No, she does not make jewelry and is not interested in any of our working with it as a medium.
I was gonna say, but she is a visual artist. There might be something there. Pitch it to her. Pitch it to her.
Okay,
I
yeah.
got a vial in the
Sure.
car. Is basically what
You got
I'm saying. Is I got
got
a
it.
bunch.
Yeah.
We like to keep a little
Will
bit
never
laying around.
draw anything for me ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Babe, listen.
Yeah. Hear me out.
Hear
you know
me
that
out, yeah.
You know that distressed paper you were talking about?
Oh God, no.
Just past spooky season, like if you did it on the window or something like that, then it could like, you know what I mean? Like they do like
If you paint
Like
like,
the snow
a
in a
Christmas
can?
scene on a
Yeah.
window with
yeah. I'm just saying why not?
Frosty's the man.
That's nasty.
all
Oh
right.
man, well we could transition, I guess, to I was going to tell you a story, and I guess it might, it might work, but this record that we're going to talk about speaks against toxic masculinity, and what I'm going to tell you is a fucking story that is that hits that on the.
We were talking
right
basketball.
We were talking basketball.
Dennis Rodman and then Vancouver Grizzlies.
The Vancouver Grizzlies had a player, Benoit Benjamin. He went on to, I believe, have like a decent career. I guess he played for a few years with the Clippers and shit like that or whatever. He's in the West when Kobe's kind of coming up and stuff like that. Tim Duncan. I was actually talking to you about that yesterday. There's just a bunch of people.
Tim Duncan, like Spurs.
Yeah, exactly, right? So you have like powerhouse teams, and for years the Western Conference was just more exciting to watch. You know what I mean, than anything else, right? But he was actually at the kind of like the Gary Payton kind of, tail end of the Sixers, kind of that generation. Anyway, when we were kids, so this would have been like 1996-ish, maybe 95 or something like that. In the final years of the Grizzlies, a guy that I worked with up north, he's telling me the story about when he got to go see the Grizzlies. Now he was Vancouver public school student, and he played for the basketball team, and they kind of had this thing with the Grizzlies. I think they have it with like minor hockey as well, where like every game or every home game or whatever, then like one of the school teams or whatever will come, and they put like the whole team basically up in the nosebleeds, and then there's like 2 seats or whatever, like right like courtside. So like they each half a quarter or whatever, right?
Yeah,
so like 4 kids will come and see, like get there per quarter or whatever. So the way that this kid kind of figured it out was that like Benoit Benjamin is like his favorite basketball player at the time, and which is really weird. But I think you know what I mean. You just it's
super weird.
The dumbest thing, but I think when you're a kid, you just
especially
like,
that team too. Like there's so many, like there's bibbies on the team, like there's
right, yeah, exactly, right at that time.
Yeah, jewelry. There's a bunch of there was some heaters, dude.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's a fan of the defensive playing. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing. But he's telling me this story with so much passion, and we're sitting at a lunch table. I'll just never forget the way that he did this because it turns from so cute into such an asshole. But basically, he worked it out so that he was going to sit with his buddy down at courtside for like the last for like the end of the game, right? So he had to wait up for the nosebleeds, for the whole time or whatever, and it's finally his turn, and he gets down there. And what I failed to mention was that the Vancouver Grizzlies are getting shit kicked, right? They're a terrible team. they're literally just talking about moving the team and all of this stuff.
They got a fucking pig farmer as center.
Yeah, exactly. Picton is at the height right now. There's this is a weird time in British Columbia. Anyway, at the end of the game, the Vancouver Grizzlies are just so demoralized. They're just walking off the court, and they're not taking pictures. They're not shaking hands. They're not doing nothing. And this kid is just like, Mr. Benjamin, you know what I mean? Trying to get his attention, just trying to get a high five. And Benoit Benjamin just turns and looks at him, dead in the fucking eyes, sees this little kid, and then turns and walks away, right? He breaks this kid's heart, right?
Never meet your heroes.
Exactly,
oh,
right?
man.
100%.
But also has some sense, kid.
It's terrible,
Yeah.
right?
Good scoreboard.
But what that kid did, because I can't remember what his name is now, but he's a fucking psychopath, right? So
He like grew up to be the mayor. Or something.
But it grew up to make him like the mayor of fucking like assholes that fuck girls or whatever, right? But like he turned it into this move because the way that he took that experience was that like he didn't hate Benoit Benjamin after that. He wanted that handshake so much more that like he went to other games and stuff like that.
Oh,
like he was, yeah, dude. Like he wanted him so
my
much more.
God.
And then he translated that to like picking up girls to this move where he had called like the Noi,
The Benjamin.
which is he calls it the Noid, right? So you have to like there's a thing where you have to where you put the Noid up where basically like if you were the way that he described it was like he's, you know what I mean, kind of like us, just a couple of fucking tattooed losers, right? So if he wants to punch up out of his weight class, then he would be at the bar and basically, you know what I mean, meet like the hottest girl there, and he's having such a good time with all of his friends, and you know what I mean. Basically, if somebody's going to like introduce, girls, you say this. Say there's a gal named Jessica. Jessica comes into the room. Hey, this is my friend, and she's being introduced to everybody, right? And then it gets to him, and he doesn't even acknowledge her. no handshake, like look in the eyes and a dead fucking Benoit Benjamin moment where turn and walk away and then proceed to have the greatest time and be the best guy, right? At that point, because you can't look like an asshole at that point. You have to go on, you have to buy shots for everybody, you have to be cracking jokes, they have to be landing, right? Like you do have to have a little bit of charisma to make this move work. Now, the trick is knowing when to lift the noit, he would say, right? Now, this could go over the course of like one evening. I know this guy's a fucking asshole, right? Like, I remember, but I'm sitting there eating lunch. You only have like 15 minutes, you know, like our coffee break or maybe half an hour lunch. And he's telling me the story and then proceeded to tell me to throw like the rest of the day, like, you know, like stories of how long that this like noit would go on for. And he said that he had one from like high school, where like he just like wouldn't talk to this girl and not necessarily like an asshole, but just like in the group of friends and just be like adjacent to this person. And then at some point, basically he says that like, so at the end of the night, you'll be like outside of the bar and everybody's kind of cabbing home or whatever. And that girl that has, you know what I mean? Cause it just puts it in the back of her head. Like, who the fuck is this guy? And like, why the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, why am I a piece of shit? It's the most like, you know, like emotions, like psychological, you know, like thing or whatever that twists up to him. And then she'll come up to him and be like, what the fuck are you, like, what the fuck is your problem? And then you turn and you lift the noit. And then at that moment you become like a good dude. And he said that like it works like all the fucking time or whatever, right?
How old is this dude at this
point? At this point, we were maybe like 25 years old, and he'd been working with a group of guys to the point where he's telling me this.
Also
they were
noiters.
also incorporating this move.
This is the dentist system, essentially,
100%.
is what he's doing.
Yes.
I hate to say it, but it's like, yeah, like there is a certain amount of like, there is a certain point where you realize, like at that age too, as do where you're like, oh, like just being a super nice dude is like not like girls at that age were definitely not fucking that interested.
Totally,
like
yeah.
you know what I mean. Like, it was like okay, but like that's taking it to some fucking psycho
like
level.
that.
Like being cool is like whatever. And you got to be fucking like
it
you know.
is like
fucking
the
Bateman
whole.
look.
It is the whole like pickup artist like negging thing.
Exactly.
You
Yeah,
know? But
totally.
it's like taken because that's already psychotic.
Yeah.
But it's taken to an even more
Exactly.
extreme.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, to like a lunchroom.
And I think having those stuff of like, oh, I'll just be like, I totally had those stuff at like 20 and 22.
course,
I'd be like, oh, I'll just be like an asshole, and then like I get more interested. It was like, those are like stupid 22-year-old fucking horrible thoughts. And it's like you're a fucking moron. That would not fly anymore.
Long-term relationship.
Well,
Like I've been in it for so long.
it's
Like you
so
see this,
dumb.
like some of like the way that like my buddies like operate, and move through life and shit. Like you're fucking mid-30s now, and you've been doing this shit your whole fucking like, you know. And they like, I think if you get into that like into that mind state or whatever, then it doesn't become like, you know, spending time with somebody or whatever. It becomes like, you know, manipulating, you know, new people or whatever just to try to fuck them. And
Well, and
just,
it's
like,
also
weird,
like
it's
because
a weird
as
thing.
like children, when you're like a little girl or whatever, you're told if a boy is being mean to you, it's because he likes you, you know.
Yeah.
So you're kind of trained then
For
to be
sure,
attracted
yeah.
to that.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
This is fucking This
Yeah.
is on a big. This is deep. Hey, you know what I mean? And yeah, so fuck that behavior. And listen to the idols.
yeah.
We get into Joy as an Act of Resistance,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. 2018 release from one of the most exciting bands, I think. I don't think they like to be called a punk band, but the attitude and the
ethos.
and the energy, yeah. I think.
What do you think they'd prefer to be called?
I don't know. But I was reading a couple of like articles and stuff like that, and they've just been like on stage being like, for the last fucking time, we were not a punk band.
Because
Oh,
they have
no
kind
better
of,
way to be called a punk band.
But
I know, right? That's
if
most
you
punk rock
listen,
is.
yeah. If you listen to
Totally.
like
Just
more recent albums, the sound is much different. I think they kind of
Changing, yeah.
almost maybe want to avoid being defined in any way because they are like very like transitioning kind of all over the place. They're very experimental in that way, I guess.
Definitely, yeah. They're I like that they're not gonna kind of stay in the pocket that a lot of bands do. I mean, when a band that I like does that, then I kind of know where to, you know what I mean? You always know where to go to get Bad Religion because they're just gonna give you the, you know what I mean? Like the similar package or whatever, right? But with something like this, where it's new and it's exciting, and it is like a huge middle finger to, you know, to like convention and shit like that, then you want to see a band like that explore, which is very exciting. But this is the record that the first one that I found, and then we kind of like discovered it around the same time.
It was during COVID, like peak COVID, when I had
Like
gone
lockdown,
I had gone back to the island or whatever for a
that's
couple
right.
months, and then you like found it and like sent it to me or
Oh
whatever
yeah,
it
this
was.
one this one hit me like a ton of bricks. Like I was
Yeah.
like on lockdown, and lockdown sucked because like obviously we couldn't do shows anymore. You were out of town and stuff, and then we were I was living in this place where I was in a basement suite. The basement suite was so tiny that you know, there wasn't really like the living room situation was upstairs. The roommate's up there. I didn't necessarily drive with, and he also had a kid too, right? So during COVID time, I was like, there's nothing really that I can do here. So then I started just going out into the garage and spending time in the garage. I drank like my,
I was like,
almost
that's
myself
all you
to
do in a
death with
garage.
fucking, yeah,
All you
exactly.
do is just
I just tinkered and fucking drank beers and smoked fucking weed the entire time.
How much I hated that era, because the garage, this went on like through winter and stuff, and I was fucking freezing cold in the garage. I bought a fucking space heater for the garage that he left there, by the way. It was fucking
Still getting shit
freezing
on the
when
space heater.
when we very first started the podcast. None of these episodes were released. It was when we were just kind of fucking around trying to figure out what it was going to be.
Right.
And we were just kind of talking with each other into microphones and recording it, but never listened back to it, never even like considered releasing them. But yeah, it was in that fucking garage. So I'd be like wearing fucking like 5 layers, just like shivering cold in this fucking
We did all
garage.
the seasons in there too because I was growing weed in the backyard, so we were like trimming dope in there and drying weed. So for like 2 weeks we'd just walk in there and it was just like, you know what I mean, fucking like smelling like weed hanging and shit. Like it was so much fun, but definitely like I don't know, like now we can look back at it as like kind of a positive time. I think, right?
I was so excited when you moved and the podcast was inside. I was like, holy fuck, we can actually start releasing these because I can fucking think clearly.
Oh man, but you know what, I think I was working at Vancouver Film School as a teaching assistant. There was a fella in the gear rental room or whatever. He was also a TA, and I'm blanking on his name right now, but he's very, very good dude. He always wore a pup hat, and we like pup, right?
Yep.
You know, even shout out to CanCon, and he came in and he was telling me about this band, and I'm fucking a pretentious piece of shit. When somebody comes up to me and starts telling me about a band or whatever, and when they say like you would really like them, for whatever reason,
you go punk rock on them.
I don't know why the fuck I do it, but like I've missed out on so much good shit. Just because, hey, I'm busy or you forget or blah, 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 right? Or maybe that, you know, sometimes maybe you don't know this person that well, so you might not like trust their opinion. And it's like, how the fuck do you know what I like? But my God, did he hit this one like right on the fucking head, right? Because I think like, you guys know that as far as like percussive, you know, almost like industrial like heaviness of this fucking album, and also like, you know what I mean, the lyrics that are like I think right now with like the movements of you know, everybody, you know, looking for visibility, right, is great. I think it's done in a way that can be annoying sometimes, and I think this is the way that like I say that I would.
It's very industrial sounding.
Yeah, that fucking opening track is fucking.
It's like I want to listen to it. Like I know you sent a video the other day of you working, and it was like an open floor, like it wasn't finished yet.
Yeah.
That's where I want to listen to that.
This
track.
is where I do listen to this.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That makes a ton of sense.
Totally, right?
Yeah, wow. I didn't even think about it like that until you really said like industrial. Like, okay, yeah, totally. Yeah, a lot of like saw grinders and all.
Oh yeah, with all that, like it's just a cacophony of fucking noise, right?
Yeah.
So like with a band like this, that's like probably like as close to like noise music or whatever that I'll skew to with all that, wow, you know what I mean, like guitar fucking.
But it still has. It's not even. It doesn't feel like just like a whole bunch of noise either. Like there's a lot going on there.
It's very driven and very very focused.
And
for sure.
like you said, the lyrics. Like even for someone like me who isn't a huge lyric person, like they definitely stick with you and are kind of like fun and silly at points too. And like I think just his voice is like so perfect. It's like such like a good like even if they don't call themselves punk rock or whatever, it's such like kind of a perfect voice for that, you know?
Of just like like the thick kind of raspy, just fucking yelling at you.
The accent too, like it's so. But they have a Tiny Desk concert that's so fun. We should watch it after this before Sahib gets here. It's so fun.
We'll put a link down for anybody to watch it, because I think the cool thing about this band is that the first record that they put out was Brutalism.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. And it was you know what I mean? As soon as you kind of hear it, you're like, oh, this is something different. You know what I mean? Like, it's especially when it's like right in the vein of like punk rock. You know what I mean? The walls are pretty defined. You know what I mean? Right. So as soon as you hear something like that, but then when this one kind of like I think kicked the door open, and then off the strength of those two, they started putting out like live albums and stuff. So you'll see there's one on vinyl live at wherever, but it's kind of, you know what I mean, kind of amalgamation of the first two records or whatever that's live that is fucking awesome. And when you can like, you know, capture this band's energy live is one of the shows that like is like bucket list stuff. If they're anywhere near me at any time, I'm going to travel to see this band.
Yeah. I want to say, I think it was when actually Ben came on from ATD and he was saying he went to Seattle and saw them, I believe. Also, Ben wants to do another episode.
Fuck yeah.
Saying, yeah, he's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Ben
Ben from
W.
ATD. Oh yeah, man. A total
great.
disappointment is one of the fucking...
Yesterday he like tagged us in a photo. He has like a sticker up somewhere, and I like responded like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. And he was saying that he wants to do another episode.
Sick.
Deal.
Coming up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's going to be the shit, right? Yeah. But I think that, you know, at a time like of COVID, like, do you guys, how isolated were you and how emotional were you getting? I know the answer
I
for
mean,
you.
yeah, I was super isolated. So I've probably said this on the podcast before, but basically my situation was my little brother Kelly and his girlfriend Gwyn were living in the UK right before COVID hit, and I had just gone to the UK and was there for like 2 weeks right when it was getting really bad in Italy and shit. And I came back, and their whole plan, the whole reason why they were living in Bristol for that long was that for the month of March 2020, they had bought like Eurorail tickets and they were going to go travel all through Europe for that month. And so I said goodbye to them at the very beginning of March 2020. Not sure when I was going to see them again. Blah, blah, blah. Come back like fucking a week later. Everything shuts down. They have to fucking buy tickets. Because that was when Trudeau was like, any Canadians living abroad, like come back. Because up to that point, they were planning on staying there. But then they were both working in restaurants. All the restaurants shut down. That like announcement went up. So they had to book tickets, and everyone's booking tickets at the same time. And so it kept being like, you know, Kelly would get the tickets as soon as he clicked book, it would refresh. Sorry, no more seats left on this flight. So we finally got some tickets. And then it was announced that if your plane touches down in the States, you're going to be sent back where you came from. You can't get off the plane. And they had their flight that they had got had a layover in the States. So they're like, fuck. And so they couldn't get a refund on those
Everything
tickets.
is going to have a layover in the fucking States.
Right.
What?
And so again, like had to get tickets. The only tickets they could find was flying out of Wales, and they lived in Bristol, and it left the next morning.
Oh my God.
So then they had to fucking pack up all of their shit, get rid of whatever they could. Kelly had to go to the bank because they had switched over their bank accounts to the UK.
God,
Kelly had
the
to
whole
go to the
thing.
bank, and Kelly had to go to the teller and be like, hey, so I'm going to withdraw some cash. And they're like, yeah, how much do you want? He's like, how much is in there? And they said, however much. He's like, yeah, let's just take all of it.
I'll be back.
Yeah. But anyway, so then they had to do that whole thing. Their roommate drove them to Wales. Like they, you know, got on the plane. They flew into Vancouver. I had to pick them up. This was like a week after I had left the UK. And they went to live at my parents' house on the island because it's usually empty.
Yeah.
And I was still going to stay in Vancouver because I was like, oh, I'll wait it out. Anyways, then things got worse, and I ended up living on the island at my parents' house with Kelly and his girlfriend for like 2 months. And so we were so it was pretty sick for us, honestly, because we just had that whole place to ourselves.
Yeah.
It's already very isolated. You have, you know, had the mountain behind us and, you know, the ocean and all that shit. So we were just kind of partying there for 2 months. Tiger King came out. We got we put a big
That's a
tarp.
good time.
Yeah.
Slide on the fucking
Yeah,
front.
we put a big tarp on the front
I can say
lawn.
that like Survivor Season 9's a good time in that
Yeah.
house.
Oh,
Can't
yeah.
imagine Tiger
Oh
King
man,
dropping.
it was wild. We got a big tarp and put it on the front lawn and just had a slip and slide there the
Oh, yeah,
whole time.
yeah.
It was so those first 2 months of COVID, it was a weird time to like kind of go back and be living like with my brother again
be
and
the
in our
kid
parents'
again.
house again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not our parents weren't there because they were both working still
Right.
elsewhere. So yeah, that was those
wild.
first 2 months of COVID for me.
was drinking and doing drugs in a garage by myself. Dark times. Those are dark days. I remember taking the empties in. I got like $500 back in empties or something.
God damn.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when I was listening to this album, it was like I would be running like through the forest listening to this.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
that'd be good workout shit for sure.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
Fucking yeah.
Totally. Yeah. And I think I don't know, like I at a time of like of like loneliness or isolation and stuff like that, I definitely like lean heavily like, you know, on tunes, you know what I mean, right? I always kind of need like a voice of reason back there, right? And I think these fellas definitely kind of did that for me, right? There's a lot of songs. I think like self-love is important, you know what I mean, like all of that shit, coming to terms like with who you are and shit. I think that was like the big one, and they're very like unapologetic about, you know, anything like that, right? There's a lot of like I don't know, shame and fucking like failure and fucking like weird feelings or whatever that kind of stem from, you know what I mean, like I don't know, not doing what you want to do, right? So that's not very punk rock. So, you know what I mean? This was like, it's cool because you always figure like, especially at like 28 too, you're like, oh, I got all my shit figured out, right? But like every like, you know, 2 or 3 years, I'll fucking, you know, fucking spiral and go into like really dark places or whatever, right? So, you know what I mean? It's cool that people are out there like making art that are, you know, I don't know, that make you feel like a little bit less alone, a little bit less like a fucking piece of
tattooed
loser.
Oh, you fucking pussy.
Yeah, exactly. yeah, big time, right? So you know what I mean, right? A very, very, very important album, like to kind of just like hit me like at the right time and stuff like that. And I think that it's exciting to see them get like the shine that they do have. They're kind of playing on like Coachella stages and shit like that.
Nice,
right? Which
that's
is
dope.
Yeah, which is cool. They're opening for like the Foo Fighters and like arenas and stuff, and they're like, you know, they want to.
Or they were.
They were. Too soon. You know, so like I think that as far as like not only like
that'd be a sick concert though.
That'd be fucking unreal,
Fighters.
right? Like they're I think the Foo Fighters like notorious for like bringing those bands. They brought Mariachi El Bronx, but like, you know what I mean, just like let's do like just a huge like Bronx appreciation moment. I fucking I'm just like super into that goddamn band. And I don't know, the mariachi thing is cool, but I really want to see them do the thing. And I think like the Foo Fighters are, you know, like recognizing, you know, I mean, who's like a cool band in rock and roll or whatever, they're doing their thing. Because there's if they wanted to be, they could be like the biggest band in like punk rock or whatever, right? They can headline all the festivals and do the whole thing, right? But I think it's cool that they're, you know, going to make us dance and then go and, you know, that's going to open them up to playing with a bunch of different, you know, other acts and shit like that, and kind of spread the message, I think, to like wider audience than maybe just like preaching to the choir or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Patton Oswalt's going to, you know, play San Francisco. He's going to fucking, you know, just preach to the fucking choir.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it's cool that maybe through that effort, other people can get exposed to, you know what I mean, heavier sounds and stuff like that maybe wouldn't otherwise, right? So
yeah. What did you think of the album? I feel like we've railroaded this whole conversation.
No, it was good. I like what you said about like about when albums hit you at a certain time, and like, 'cause you'll never forget that, like that, like, you know what I mean, like you'll know.
When I listen to some of these songs, I think about like where I would sit kind of like where the door is, and like so it's music kind of triggers memories like that, and like when I was a kid, I would come out to like on a Greyhound bus all the time. Like my mom would put me on the bus and my dad would pick me up in Vancouver. That's a 12-hour bus ride, and I would do that like 2 times a year. So that's 48 hours a year just on a Greyhound, just looking out the window. So like when those albums, you know what I mean, there's like an Offspring song.
And how cool is it to be at an older age now where you can recognize that moment happening?
Yeah,
that's the coolest shit, because it's like,
exactly. That's
you
probably
know,
the
like,
first time that you're like, oh, this is
this
like
is what this is. Yeah. Oh, I know this. This happened.
Yeah.
This time.
Totally.
Yeah. Just looking at the bus is like, that's huge. I think that's the Lonesome and Crowded West for me.
Yeah.
That's that for sure. It was a good album. It was like, super cool. I mean, it's heavy as fuck. It's just like and I like the industrial thing the most. In fact, these poor bastards, saying you're not punk rock is the most punk rock thing you could probably say.
Right.
It's like expressing distaste in a nickname.
It totally is.
You will just be branded immediately.
It's like the best. It's the most punk rock thing too. Is like in rebellion or whatever. To rebel against the community that wants you. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah. We want to love you. Fuck you, man.
There's a red carpet. You can play every fucking show you want.
Fuck you guys, man.
But I think that they're also very open to it too, because that Seattle show that they did play. Like my buddies from Seattle, like they met them too, and I believe the lineup was with more of those like at least like
they seem like cool guys
bands,
too,
yeah.
like just based on like the the live performances, like their personalities very much shine. It's not like watching from videos that we've seen or whatever. It's not like watching a regular fucking concert.
I always going to be biased. Like I wish I kind of knew a little bit more about the live stuff before we did. I should have dug in a little bit deeper because I kind of just did the album and I was like, I should have done because there's nothing like I think I value a live band more than anything.
Sure.
Right.
Like for real. And for some reason it's really hard to capture bands like that.
Totally.
On record.
Yeah,
as punk as fucking the punk community will know.
You're absolutely
because
right.
sometimes you do hear like kind of a punk or even like just a harder hitting album and you're like I don't know, it doesn't hit for me. Like but then I've seen them live and
there's
like
there's
fuck,
ways that like I think like with production, if you hear like early Slayer stuff, like it doesn't hit as hard as you think like now, because I think production has gotten so much better. Like you could put like a Slipknot album on or whatever, just like sonically the way that it sounds, it will like blow you away. And then you go back to like an early 80s recording of like, you know what I mean, of the seminal fucking, you know what I mean, the hardest metal or whatever. You can put like Venom on or Slayer and stuff like that. It's not going to hit you, you know what I mean, as hard or whatever, right? Which is really weird. But if you see it live, then you can see that energy, right? That transfer. And with a band like this, they kind of have this like really tough sound, but like the ability to be like so vulnerable. Like it's so fucking, it's refreshing and like cool in a way. There's a song on there about like Stillborn or whatever. This song that he wrote about his fucking you know, him and his wife had like a miscarriage and stuff like that. So like that, you have songs like, you know what I mean, about like, you know, immigration and Brexit and like, you know what I mean, all the way to like that, you know what I mean. So I think like it's like a cool time capsule of where they were too. I think like you know, at that time it's fucking heavy.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Stillborn. That's like even more like intense than a miscarriage. You still have to fucking
you'd have to name it. Yeah, this happened
like
to
give birth to,
my cousin Cole.
Horrific.
I don't know if you'd want me to fucking talk about this, but like the amount of emotional trauma that it puts not only like obviously them through, but like I mean the entire extended family is so goddamn heavy.
Oh man, I can't.
But you know what I mean. You're having you know you have to name and have a
and the like straight up like that no one talks about the frequency in which these things occur is like a lot higher than everyone thinks it is. And you don't really start realizing it to like your friends that are having kids and stuff like that. You're like, oh fuck. Like,
when I was in grade 7, there was a teacher at our school and his wife was having a baby, and so everyone knew that after like the first term or whatever in grade 7 that he was going to be on leave or whatever. And I remember coming back after like Christmas vacation and like, you know, our teacher like telling us that is like, you know, their baby was stillborn and shit, and it was like so fucking heavy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
God damn.
Wild,
yeah, to explain that to a fucking class of
to a class of fucking like 13-year-olds who are all
God.
like throwing spitballs at each other and shit.
Yeah,
like,
at you.
Oof. Yeah.
Those kids.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's way to fucking way to end on a sad note.
Yeah, but if you contact Amanda in Ontario, you can make a.
That's perfect. Let's end it there. That was awesome. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to
If you don't sponsor our show after that, come lady.
Listen, come lady.
Listen, come lady.
Oh man, thanks to the flashers.
Yeah.
Peace to the universe.
This is keep it 100 out there.
Peace.
Peace to the fuck.